Well, as we saw earlier, the federal government's under increasing pressure over its asylum seeker policies. A High Court challenge is preventing it from activating a key initiative. It's planned to send boat arrivals to Malaysia. But at the Malaysian end of the deal, there are already winners, the mostly Burmese refugees who've been stranded in that country, many for years. Some of them have already arrived in Australia as part of the federal government's deal, and Mary Gearan met one of the first families to arrive.
This is the life Biak Zel Keng Lot and his wife Nun Ta were praying for as they tried to make a life as refugees in Malaysia.
It's very nice, and the people who come here are well taken care of.
Their journeys began separately back in the turmoil that faces the Chin ethnic minority in Burma. Biak Keng Lot is one of 9 children, but his family has been torn apart.
My father fled away from home to avoid arrest by the regime, the army, and we were ordered, the remaining family were ordered by the army to bring forward my father, otherwise we'd get arrested. So I fled with my younger sister to Malaysia.
Nun Ta was brought up by her grandmother. Her mother died when she was young and she doesn't know where her father is. She says 3 years ago she was coerced into working for the Burmese army.
I was forced to be a porter to carry their stuff, and I was told by them that I'll have to follow them permanently to transport their goods and their ammunition. While they were drinking, I fled. While they were drinking and drunk, I fled secretly.
Separately, they made their way to Malaysia, where they met, and soon after came Robert. But it was never going to be a straightforward love story amid the chaos of life as illegal immigrants before gaining refugee status.
The main reason is housing. It's very hard to find a house and it's very expensive, especially with a labourer's income where you have to work. And for people like us who came into Malaysia illegally without a passport, it's much harder. And from time to time we get arrested on the street, where the police officers took away all our money.
As the government's been battling politically and legally to begin the expulsion of boat arrivals under the Malaysia Agreement, the deal's beneficiaries have been arriving and settling into Australian suburbs. Over the last few years, Burma supplied the largest percentage of refugees to Australia. Most of them are settled in Victoria, in places like this, Springvale in Melbourne's southeastern suburbs. As the intake increases over the next few years and the new arrivals are attracted to already established Burmese areas, there'll be more challenges for resettlement support groups. They're already struggling to find affordable housing for the refugees who are here.
There's a housing shortage across Melbourne and, here in Springvale, definitely that's the issue. So housing will be an issue, and also getting enough volunteers to help with settlement work, help them, navigate even how to cross a road, how to deal with a ATM machine, how to visit Centrelink, all those sorts of things. The basic navigating life in Australia. I'm worried there won't be enough people like that around to help out. Yeah. So hopefully within a week we'll have permission from the council.
Peter Decker is part of the Christian-based group Urban Neighbours of Hope that's been helping Burmese refugees in Melbourne for 15 years. Right now they're hoping to establish a refugee-owned and operated cafe with Mas Mai as its manager. He arrived in Australia 4 years ago after a decade in a camp on the Thai-Burma border and a childhood spent fleeing from violence.
Sometimes, the government and our people fight, they fought, and the burn, the village is gone, and come back, the building again, the house, and go to school again, and 3 or 4 months run again. Just my life was the same, all the life like this.
You hear some of the stories that my neighbours are dealing with, and how they've, every 3 months having to flee from the military, having family members stolen to become porters and forced to, carry goods for the army, forced to be, human shields. So they definitely deserve to be in a country that's safe, in a country that can offer them a future.
Mas Mai welcomes any deal to bring more Burmese into Australia. When it comes to the other side of the deal, though, sending boat arrivals to Malaysia for processing, his feelings are mixed about the government approach.
This might suggest they are not shouldn't come this by boat, because that's very dangerous. But I don't know their situation there. I don't know what their life there.
I don't like the way that the government is treating asylum seekers. They're not illegal, and to then shuffle them off to another country is unacceptable. And I think if anything is illegal, it's that actual action. On the other hand, taking in another 4,000 refugees from Malaysia, where it's the situation is pretty grim there, is a fantastic thing. I'd like to think that we could do both.
Like many others, the Kinglots have been welcomed into the homes of other recently arrived refugees. While they were in what some have labelled the refugee queue, it's never as simple as that. Biak Kinglot did pay people smugglers to get him through Thailand, but then only had to wait 15 months before being swept up in the Malaysia deal. While they don't understand the politics behind their arrival, Nanta Kinglot says she'd like to see all Chin refugees make it to Australia. Biak Kinglot is still anxious about those he's left behind.
All I worry about is my father and my sister who live in Malaysia, and my father is old. He's 63 years old. On the other hand, I worry about my mum and my younger brothers and sister in Burma and hope they could join us here as soon as possible. Then we'd be very happy.
Mary Guerin with that report.